Hi there, Jill Hope here on a Thrive on Thursday, back with a brand new video. And make sure that if you like this video, that you hit the like button, consider subscribing. And if you do, hit the notifications button so that you know as soon as I post a new video. I tend to post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So be looking for that, and I'll be back with a lot more great content. Now, for today, I want to talk about something it's a truth that's out there that doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but it's really, really important. And it's actually something that I used to be able to elevate my income the way that I have and grow my business over the last several years, even during a pandemic. And it's this idea about that what you believe that you are and what you believe in, you create, you make true. The universe will prove to you that you are correct. Whatever you believe is true. And so if you are holding thoughts that tell you how you can't or how you shouldn't, or, what is so-and-so going to say if you do this? Well, you're going to have a pretty difficult time, right? And that's pretty obvious. I think most of us know this at this point in the game. If you've had a business that you've been growing for a while, or you've been doing personal development work, we know that the thoughts that we put in our head are very, very powerful. But one of the things that I did several years ago, as I was realizing that how I think of myself, what my self-image is, the way when I think about myself in relation to situations, how I think about myself within the context of these situations really makes a huge difference in terms of how things work out for you. And so in that process of really figuring out, like, how do I see myself? What is my self-image? And what do I want it to be if it doesn't match where I'm heading in my life and what my goals and vision are? What I did was I adopted 17 new beliefs, new rules in my life, if you will, that I apply to any situation that comes up in my life. And I literally mean any situation. It doesn't have to be a financial situation. It could be something in my family or with friends or in my business. But I have found that these 17 rules have helped me to move past situations quickly, have overcome blocks, and have really amped up my income. So I want to share these 17 new rules with you today. And as you listen to this, I'll go through these fairly quickly, but you might want to write down any that really resonate with you that you would like to adopt. Because the more we can start holding these really positive ideas in our minds, and to the point where we really feel it to be true in our hearts, that's when the magic starts to happen. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first rule is, and I just decided this one just a couple of years ago, actually, is I make money every day. I make money every day. How great would that be, right? It is pretty great because I make money every day. Number 2, my ideal clients always say yes. My ideal clients always say yes. Now, this one will save you, because there have been times when I've been on a call with a potential client and I really like them and I really believe I can help them, and we seem like we have a good synergy going, but they say no, or they say I'm not ready, or now is not the time, or something along those lines. And this belief, my ideal clients always say yes, is so helpful in those situations, because then I know that was not an ideal client. There might have been challenges with that client that would have made working with that person difficult. I don't know. But it's a very freeing idea that my ideal clients always say yes. So number 3 is everything happens for me, not to me. Everything happens for me, not to me. And this is like a mantra in my coaching practice. When I'm working with people, I will, if something's going on in their life, like, we eventually come back to this one, is that, remember, everything happens for you, not to you. So if that's true, how is this happening for you? What could be the hidden gifts here? It's such a great way to shift your mind and to look for a different possibility. It's really freeing in that sense. Number 4 is God is good all the time. Now, this is one that a mentor said and holds as true. And the more I started saying it, I thought, it is so true. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. So I just love how it feels when I say that one. Number 5 is I take healthy risks to grow every single day. I take healthy risks to grow every single day. Now, this one is so powerful because it makes me think of the story that the founder of Spanx told one time. I forget her name. Oh, Sarah Blakely. Sarah Blakely, that's right. And she was talking about when she was growing up, and her dad, every day when she would come home from school, he'd say, "What did you fail at today?" Now, as a parent, I'm thinking, like, really? Like, I don't want my kid focusing on failure. But actually, what he was doing is he taught her that if you're not stretching yourself enough in your life on a day-to-day basis, you're not really growing. You're not growing to your potential. Because to get to your potential, to get to a big goal, to experience a big vision, you will absolutely experience failure along the way. So in a sense, he was normalizing failure. He was making it okay. And I remember when my son was in grade school, I was doing a lot of work with the school. I was one of the room moms at the time. That's what they called it, and probably call it a classroom assistant now. And so I was having a conversation with one of the teachers because my son was having a really hard time around this idea of making a mistake. He felt he made a mistake on a paper. He didn't get a very good mark from the teacher, and he didn't do a good job. I mean, honestly, he did not work to his potential on that one piece. So I was explaining to him that this is how we learn, this is how we grow. And then I was telling this story to the teacher, who was telling me, oh, like all the kids, they're just so afraid to make a mistake. And I think we do grow up with that conditioning that it's like bad to make a mistake. So I love this one, number 5. I take healthy risks every day because it reminds me that in order for me to grow, I have got to take healthy risks. And they are risks because there might be a failure. It might not work out. And that is okay because I will surely learn something in the process. So the number 6 new rule on my new rule list that I adopted to grow my self-image and to start stepping into my vision more is I only speak kindly to myself. I only speak kindly to myself. This is a big one for me. If you're a mom, it's probably a big one for you because don't we have a lot of things that we could hit ourselves over the head with? I mean, we're dealing with mom guilt. We're dealing with shame about, things that we may have done or said in the past. We're dealing with a lot of stuff. And so we can tend to get down on ourselves. We can be our worst critics. And if you're trying to build a business as well, you have plenty of other things to go at yourself about, right? Because things rarely work out perfectly, like on a day-to-day basis. Overall, yes, in the whole scheme of things, but like there's a lot of bumps on that path. So a lot of opportunities for us to beat ourselves up. So I used to do that. I didn't even realize how negative I was towards myself until I had to have multiple people point it out to me. And finally, I got it. And so I adopted this one. I only speak kindly to myself. And it works. Now, if I start to hear a thought coming into my mind that I want to criticize myself about, I will stop and I will look at that thought and I will say, well, okay, what's the truth in here? Because is there something in here that I can learn from? But I don't use it as an opportunity to bash myself or to judge myself or anything like that. I'm just looking for the truth in what I was thinking and if there's a way to improve, but not from a place of cutting myself down. Okay, so number 7 on my new rule list is I have the courage to look at myself honestly and make improvements where necessary. So this is very much along the lines of the previous one. So because I'm only speaking kindly to myself, that doesn't mean that I'm ignoring like where I need to make improvements. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect, right? I'm far from perfect. So when I see something that I maybe in the past would have wanted to bash myself over the head about, instead, as I said, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to say, where could I do better? Or like if I have a client that brings something up to me and maybe they're upset about something. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but it has happened over 15 years, right? Let's be honest. So I will look at myself and I'll say, Jill, was there something you could have done better? And I've made some very nice improvements in my business because of my dear clients who were willing to raise their concerns to me. So that's number 7. Number 8, I transform judgment and blame into loving self-inquiry. So this is tied up with number 6 and number 7, but it's a little bit, there's a bit of a difference in here, is that the judgment. Okay. So it's one thing to, knock yourself over the head and call yourself bad names, but it's another thing to judge yourself in comparison to other people, or to see, like, how do I measure up, and to, think, well, I don't think I'm good enough to do that, or I'm not ready to step into that. Or blaming myself, like taking so much responsibility that I actually blame myself for something and judge myself. That is not helpful. That's negative energy directed right at you, right? So instead of getting into that self-blame and the judgment, again, I'm looking for the lesson. So these are all 6, 7, and 8 are all connected to that. And I think I have 3 specific ones here because this is such a big issue, and it comes up in like weird, like this will rear its ugly head in some interesting ways. All right. Number 9. I love this one. This is so true, and it happens all the time. What's best for me is best for my clients. What's best for me is best for my clients. So what this means is there have been times, and it doesn't happen a lot, the specific situation I'm about to share, but it does come up. I mean, it is going to come up. It's going to come up for you too. When you're seeing clients and you're on a schedule, sometimes things get in the way. You get a call from the school, your child hurts himself, you got to go get him, right? Like there's not always another option. So, or you get sick. I mean, I woke up one day and I had a horrible migraine. Like, no, I would have been no good to anybody that day. I had to cancel my client appointments that day. They just wouldn't have gotten anything out of it, and it would have been a waste for them. So what happens 9.5 times out of 10 is when something like that comes up, say I have to shift a time on a client, or, there's just like, maybe I like the migraine thing. What they end up telling me over and over and over is, hey, Jill, that ended up being better for me because then I was able to do XYZ. Or, I was going to reach out to you and see if we could move the time back, but, I wasn't sure. And then you reached out to me and this is perfect. I hear that all the time. But instead, what a lot of us do, and I used to do this, is I would go into self-blame and judgment. Like, how can you let yourself get sick? And how can you, whatever it was, I would do that instead of just realizing that, hey, if I have to move an appointment for whatever reason, I'm going to trust that not only is that good for me, but it is good for my client too. And inevitably, it always is. Okay. Number 10. This is a fairly new one that I have adopted, and I'm really loving it. I'm a neutral observer. I'm a neutral observer. So what this one's all about is when I don't do drama. So like if there's drama going on, I'm going to check out. I'm just really not into drama. I don't want it in my life. I don't want to hang out with friends that have a lot of drama in their life. I don't like to do the drama. So if there's a drama going on, a way for me to stand in that, because I'm definitely an empath. I'm very sensitive. I feel everything. And so what I had to do is realize I'm just a neutral observer here. And when I stand in that energy of I'm a neutral observer, it feels like I have this protective shield that goes around my body, and I don't get so pulled into the energies. I don't feel it as much. It gives me a little bit of a buffer zone in those situations. So if you are a sensitive person, if you are an empath, if you feel your environment, you pick up what's going on in the environment. It's probably why I really don't like to be around a lot of drama, because it's a lot for me to take on in my body. So this idea of I'm a neutral observer helps remind me to kind of like, let's put the buffer zone around myself, and it protects my energy. Okay, so number 11 is I accept what is in order to grow what can be. I accept what is in order to grow what can be. So when I'm stuck trying to figure out here's an example. You see some grays coming in here. Well, I had, as I was saying, I'm sensitive. So several months back, I had been using regular hair dye, and I was told, look, you're really allergic to this. And at some point, because I wasn't really having problems with that I was noticing, but I had a test, an allergy test. And they said at some point, you're probably going to have a pretty bad reaction. And it could be a systemic reaction. And it could affect you like all over your body for like 6 months before it starts to heal. So when I had this reaction, I thought, oh my gosh, I think I've hit my threshold for this bad chemical in my body, on my body. So I realized I have to stop with all the hair dyes, but I'm not ready to go gray. Okay. There is nothing, like, I have no judgment around anyone that has gone gray. I actually have a lot of respect for you if that's you, because that, like, I think that's amazing. Like, that is really embracing your all of you, right? But I just really like my brown hair, and I'm not ready for it to be a different color yet. So I thought, okay, there's got to be a solution to this problem. There's got to be a hair color out there that does not have the dangerous chemicals. So I talked to my hairstylist about it. She was searching for me. I've been searching, and we kept coming up empty-handed. There was one product that was on my safe list, according to my doctor, that I could use, but the instructions were like, it was a booklet. It was gonna take like 5 hours in the salon having this, like, all these steps done. And I sent it to my stylist, and we both were kind of like, we don't want to do this. Like, this is just not, and then I have to do this every, 6 weeks? No, not going to work for me. So I was back on the hunt, and I got to this point where I was feeling like, okay, I might have to go gray, to the point where I subscribed to this woman's blog who she that's all she does. She helps women go gray. She helps them embrace it. She helps them find easy ways to go from your color down to becoming gray. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to accept that it's possible I might have to go gray. And no sooner did I decide to accept that I might need to let myself go gray when I ended up coming upon another product. It's an all natural product. It's made from all plant products. It is actually super easy to apply. And I have not, this is from it's been about almost 6 months now. And so what you're seeing here is the natural product. It's amazing. It's amazing, and it causes no itching, no reaction whatsoever. So anyways, long story to say that when I accept what is, then I am able to move forward and grow into what can be. Then I am able to discover new possibilities. But if I were to just be kind of resisting the fact that you might have to go gray, if I was going to be so resistant to that, I would probably have blocked out my ability to see this other amazing option, because I looked hard and I could not find it then. And it's not new. It's been out there. It wasn't until I accepted where I was at fully that I was able to see more. It's a powerful principle, and it's really been effective for me. So that is number 11. I accept what is in order to grow what can be. Number 12 is surrender the way, not the vision or the outcome. Surrender the way, not the vision or the outcome. So in that same example, I mean, I know we're not talking about business right now, but this is like really present in my mind. I had a vision or an outcome of really feeling happy with my hair. Okay. Thinking that I was going to have to go gray. I didn't want to be gray. I wanted to have brown hair. So that was part of it. But the deeper why as to why I wanted that is because that's what makes me feel happy. If I could feel happy with gray hair, that's really what I want. I just, at the end of the day, I want to feel happy with the hair that I have on my head, right? As long as I have it. So, but the way to get there, the path to get there, that's the one that you want to be loose with. There doesn't have to be one way, right? So for a while, I was thinking that I had to use that product on my safe list or go gray. I didn't think there were any other options. And I was getting really upset when I realized that the one hair color that came with a book that I was like obsessed with, well, this has to be it. We have to make this work. And it wasn't meant to work. Like, that wasn't the way. But if I would have stuck on that, I wouldn't have searched a little bit further and discovered this other amazing product. I had to surrender the how. I had to let go of how I thought it was supposed to show up, the answer, and just allow the universe to bring it to me. I didn't surrender my ultimate goal, which is to feel happy with my hair. That was still my vision. And I let go of how that had to happen, and I just hung on to that. And the minute I was able to do that and say, okay, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I trust it's going to happen. And I did accept where I was at, number 11. Then a new way showed up because I surrendered to possibility. So that's number 12. Surrender the way, not the vision or the outcome. Number 13 is I make decisions from where I want to be. I make decisions from where I want to be. Now, most people make decisions from where they are. They have an opportunity and maybe it will cost money, and they look in their bank account and they say, well, I don't have the money for that. And so then they make a decision based on the money. That is going to keep you perpetuating the exact same situation. You can never get out of that circle if you're always making decisions that only exist within that circle. Does that make sense? How can you get out of the circle if you make a decision that's in the circle? You can't. You've got to make a decision that's outside the circle to get out of it. That is your path to get out. So when you're making a decision, you want to have your vision in your mind and then project yourself into the vision. If I was living this vision now, what decision would I make? What decision would I advise this person standing in my shoes right now to make in that situation? And that's the decision you make. And it probably will not match the decision that you would make if you were just looking in your current situation. We've got to learn how to trust the outcome. And that's what I started to do. I started to trust my vision more than the circumstances. I literally was trusting my vision more than the circumstances and what the bank account said. So that is number 13. All right, number 14, I say yes to what I want and no to what no longer serves me. I say yes to what I want and no to what no longer serves me. We also do this one backwards. How often do we say no to what we really want? And then we keep on allowing what no longer serves us to continue to serve us, what doesn't serve us. We do this, right? Think about this in your own life. We often go against our deeper desires, our voice of desires. And we will make decisions based on where we are, not where we want to be, right? And so we'll say no to the thing we want to say yes to. And then we say yes to what no longer serves you, meaning you stay in the circumstance that you're in. You stay in this situation and you never get out. You keep saying yes to it over and over and over without even realizing it. So we want to flip that. And that's what I've done here. I say yes to what I want, and I say no to what no longer serves me. And it's been very powerful. All right. Number 15 is I allow triggers to help me see the deeper truth. I allow triggers to help me see the deeper truth. So this one has been great when it comes to self-growth, because there are always going to be things in our day-to-day lives that trigger us. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? If you have kids, the kids are going to trigger you. Partner might trigger you. Circumstance might trigger you. A bill might trigger you. We're constantly being bombarded with things that trigger us. Maybe a business partner does something that triggers you. So things happen that are going to trigger us. And instead of letting yourself be triggered, what I started to do was, when I noticed that, oh, okay, I'm being poked here, I'm being triggered, I would say, what is this about? Why do I feel the way I feel about this thing? What am I making this thing mean about me and my situation? That's a very powerful question to ask. So when I look at what do I make this mean about me or about my situation, it helps me see the deeper truth. So from that perspective, the trigger is actually a blessing. It's a gift, because it's allowing me to see deeper into myself and the things that I think and the decisions that I make that I'm not even aware I'm making and that do not serve me. And this goes back to one of the earlier rules that I started living by, which is everything happens for me, not to me. Everything happens for me, not to me. So when these triggers come up, I know that somehow it is for me. And I ask, how? How is this for me? Why am I reacting this way? Why do I feel this way? What am I making this mean? It's very revealing. All right. Number 16, we've got 2 left. The new rules for a freer, more abundant life in business is I invest money on things that take me closer to my goals. I invest money on things that take me closer to my goals. Another alternative to this, which I also think is kind of fun, is when I invest in me, I invest in my success. In fact, that one sounds better. Let's go with that one. When I invest in me, I invest in my success. When you invest in a program or something, you're not investing in that person. You're not investing in that coach. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your growth. You're investing in your education to help you hit a particular goal. It has nothing to do with the other person. The other person simply has something that can benefit you, but you're not investing in them. The whole investment takes place within yourself. And how do I know this? Well, I know it because what has happened for me and what has also happened to many clients is right when a client invests, especially when it's a fairly large investment, and same with myself, I've had this happen. You make this large investment, and immediately after you make the investment, something major, like really, really good happens. Like you get an influx of money, or you receive a check that you weren't expecting, or you get a new client. There's something about the energy of investing in yourself that brings more to you. It happens all the time. It is some principle that we're tapping into when we say yes to ourselves. When we say yes to ourselves. So when I invest in me, I invest in myself. I love that one. And then the last one is I take the next step before I feel ready. I take the next step before I feel ready. And this is powerful because if you're waiting to feel ready before you take the next step, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you ever do take the step, you may never, ever take that step. We have got to do things before we feel ready, because that readiness feeling that you're waiting for is only in your comfort zone. It is, you don't feel ready to get uncomfortable. We don't. It's discomfort. We're never ready to experience discomfort, right? We're comfort creatures. We like to feel good. So stepping into something new, there's always going to be a discomfort there. It's uncomfortable. When are we ever ready to get uncomfortable? We're really not, right? So you got to do it because it's the right next step, not because you need to feel ready. That could be number 18. I take the step, the next best step, because I know it's the right step, not because I'm ready. So important. Too much we will go by feeling, and feeling is very good, but only to a point. Feeling, if you solely go only by feeling and make decisions only by feeling, you're probably not going to hit your goals. I'm just going to be honest. Feeling is different from intuition. Totally different thing. If you're going back, one of the jokes, it's an inside family joke that my husband and I have is where we would be talking about how you should listen to your body and do what your body says. And he said, if I listen to my body, all I do is lay on the couch and drink beer. And that's pretty accurate, right? Like our bodies are not necessarily going to tell us to do the hard things. That has to come from someplace else. And you know where that comes from? It comes from vision. It comes from seeing an outcome, having a goal, and saying yes to it. And you seldom will feel ready to take those scary steps towards the vision because it's all the unknown. Even the vision is unknown. You're not experiencing it yet. So it's going to feel uncomfortable. If you're waiting to feel ready, you're going to be waiting maybe forever to feel ready. I had a mentor that used to say, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. And I totally believe that. And I've had to get uncomfortable too many times to count to grow my business. I had to do the most uncomfortable things that I've probably ever done. And that's how you grow. That's how you grow outside of your comfort zone and make your comfort zone a whole lot bigger. It's when you expand your comfort zone by taking those steps before you're ready. And that is how you create your dreams. So I hope it was helpful to share these 17 new rules with you. They have really helped me in my life to expand my income and my business, to feel more expanded within myself, to feel happier, and to feel more free. So if any of those resonate with you, take them, embody them, embrace them, use them in your life. And I wanted to let you know that for a limited time right now, I'm meeting one-on-one with anyone who feels stuck at a particular plateau in your business. Your income's not growing, you're trying to reach your vision and it's just not happening. If that's you, if you've been plugging away, chugging away, and you're really not feeling like you're getting anywhere financially in your business, I want to make myself available to talk to you about that in a Make More Money Now clarity call. So what we'll do in that call is we'll talk about your dream. We'll talk about some of the things that have been getting in the way. And we'll look at some of the hidden challenges that you may not be seeing that are keeping you stuck and stagnant in your business. You'll also find out what you need to create the freedom-based lifestyle that you really want. And I'll make one or two recommendations based on our conversation that I think would help move the needle the most for you. So these, I normally would charge for this, but I'm doing these complimentary right now just for a couple of weeks. They will not last, so make sure that you book yours as soon as possible if you want to get one of these. To do so, you can go to ishinekids.com/moneyfreedom.html. That's ishinekids.com/moneyfreedom.html. The link's down below as well. And I look forward to meeting with you if this sounds like something that could be supportive. I look forward to being back with you again soon with another video. Please remember to hit the subscribe and the like, and let someone else know if you have a friend who could really use this video or any of my videos. Send them my way. Send them over to my channel and have them check me out. All right. Until next time, take care. Bye for now.